Hello, and welcome to this tutorial where I'll show you how you package files for output. In InDesign, if I've built an ad or brochure or anything really, and I want to send this off to a printer or transfer it to another drive or transfer it to another artist, I would want to make sure that they have all the images and fonts that they need in order to continue working on the ad. The way we do this in InDesign, it's called package. When a file is complete and we're ready to transfer it, or even if it's incomplete but you want to work on it elsewhere, or pass it to another artist so that they can continue work on it, you want to make sure that they have all the elements that they need, the fonts and the images. By checking your links palette, if there's no exclamation points appearing, it means all of the links are current and up to date and not missing in InDesign. Should you see any kind of errors, such as red question marks or exclamation points, then it means you need to update the links by finding where the images are and relinking them to where you place them in InDesign. Our images here are okay, so we're going to go ahead and package this. When I'm ready to package it, I will go to File, Package. It begins with a summary telling me of what's going on in my file. In this particular case, even though it's an exclamation point, it's there to inform me that it found 3 linked files, 1 image, 2 image, 3 image. 3 linked files. None of them have been modified since I saved it last. None of them are missing. InDesign sees them all. And they're all accessible. It also tells me that the images are set to CMYK. So we're going to go ahead and package it. And the printing instructions come up. For most of our projects, we don't use these. But in the real world, you may use this to name the file, name the contact person that you're working with, the company that you work for, or that they work for. It will create a text document that will save all of this information that you put in. And if you're sending this to a printer or to another artist, you can even put in special instructions of what they have to do in order to continue or finish the file. We don't have to fill this out for our project, so we'll hit Continue. InDesign will then scan the file and then ask you to save it in a location. I'm going to put it on the desktop, and I'm going to save it as the Page Recreation folder because that's the name of the file, and that's the folder it's going to go in. Down here towards the bottom is where it gets really important. You always want to make sure these first 3 are checked. This will copy any fonts that I used in the file to create this. Any images that I placed in here, it will also copy those into the same folder. It will also update those images, the links to them, so that when I open the file on another computer, I won't have to relink the files. It will link them to that folder. We typically don't check these, but you can if you want, if you're including things like hyperlinks and the like. Notice how we include a PDF as well. We have to be careful with this PDF because in this particular case I'm dealing with spreads, and if I keep this checked it will save a PDF, but the PDF will be in individual pages. If I'm dealing with a project in spreads, then I'm going to want to write a PDF that exports it in spreads as well. Please refer to the tutorial where I talk to you about exporting files, spreads, as PDFs. So everything's checked the way I want it. I'm not checking a PDF because I would write one for spreads separately. Once I have everything named and everything checked that I want to include in the folder, I'm going to click Package. By default, this warning will always come up unless you click Don't Show Again. This is warning you that if you use any unlicensed software or any unlicensed fonts, things that you may have got off of the likes of pirate sites and torrents, that it's illegal to do so. We can go ahead and ignore that because my software is ours and it's licensed, as well as the fonts that we use are also licensed. And now it's packaging the document for me, so that when I go to the desktop, here's my folder. When I open it up, it collected all the fonts that I used to create the file, any special instructions it created for me as a text file, any images that I placed, as well as the InDesign file itself. These are all copies of your original file. It just organizes them into its own folder. I would then go back and create my PDF as I wish and then drop it into this same folder so that I now have all the final images and fonts that I used to create the file that I can then transfer wherever I like. And this is how we use the package feature in InDesign.